Welcome to Tinker Tailor Soldier Fry here on the mighty Loading Ready Live Video Entertainment Network. My name's Ian Horner, and joining me this week is
Alex.
Stacy.
I'm not made of,
No, we're not. This show is sponsored by no one because no technology.
It's sponsored by them.
Well, I mean, no, it's sponsored by them, yes, but it's a message to all you tech companies out there. Each one of you.
Give me money.
Each one of you is a coward. That's right. No one has the balls to sponsor Tinker
You know
Tailor
who's
Soldier
not
Fry.
a coward? NordVPN.
I thought for sure you were gonna say something like nobody out there has the balls to sponsor us, like that kind of thing, right?
I love getting Dollar Shave Club over NordVPN while I'm playing Shadow League Legends.
Listening to my
my favorite podcast on Audible.
Okay, there's one I might use.
laying on my Casper mattress,
And two. Maybe. We'll see.
watching videos on Skillshare.
Am I shilling well enough?
We might end up with an Audible sponsorship, actually. We might do
hey,
that someday.
then I can actually give out my
Apparently they hand them out to every fucking YouTuber on the internet.
No, I'm literally serious. We might end up with an Audible sponsorship, so let's tread a little carefully.
That's great. I'll give you my book recommendation when I have one. We got a couple of projects here. Alex, what are you working on today?
I remembered the most important thing that I didn't have last time.
Okay.
Was to bring the instructions.
Hey!
I found the rest of them.
Oh, and this is for your big
Yeah,
pushy boy.
but this will be great because then you get to see how shitty these instructions are.
Those are, in fact, extremely shitty
So
instructions.
these are garage kit instructions, which means it's literally just a diagram from the different angles with the numbered parts on it. Not when you assemble them, because they imagine that you can figure that shit out. There you go. Just figure it out. Just figure it out. There was an included DVD that was a little bit more clear about things, but yeah, we are just sort of... I have no idea how much progress I'm going to get done on this, because it's like quite an undertaking. But we'll see what we can do, because I need to assess once again what state the project is. Oh, that's not good.
Okay, and I've just discovered that my VirtualBox installation may not have been complete because I'm having some real troubles installing, setting up a what do you call that thing? Bridged networking. Hey, so what I'm going to be doing here today is I'll be walking you through some of my favorite, some home automation stuff, starting with what I consider to be one of the best pieces of home automation hardware there is out there, and that is this. And we don't have a close-up shot. Maybe we do over on the
Hang on a
Alex cam.
second. There, how about that?
Aha! The Sonoff Basic. Yes, it is not a shotgun. It's in fact zip kicker. It is a little piece of hardware, and we'll get it on there. But they're out of the box. They are said to work with something in Chinese, eSupport, IFTTT, Nest, Alexa, and Google Assistant. And we're not going to use any of those today because I don't trust whatever firmware is on here that came out of the box.
Ian,
Oh no.
the lid of this was cracked,
Yeah,
so
that's...
it went away.
Oh no.
It's fine. I have plenty of
I was going to ask
glue,
if
but
you
it's
needed more.
it's in a better place now. That is just completely gone. That went up and out.
So, these things are magic. Like, they're about $5 a piece, depending on where you get them. You can find them on Amazon, you can find them on eBay, you can find them on Banggood, which is where I purchased mine.
You can find them on the darknet, right?
Yeah, you can find them on the darknet, but there's no reason to, because they're just about everywhere. And the reason they're so cheap is because all they are just an ESP8266 that's been put onto a board along with some with a relay, basically. They don't have to do a whole hell of a lot. We'll get some closer pictures of those in a second when we get them set up. But what we're going to do is we're going to pair these ESP8266s, these Sonoff Basics, with...
What did you call me?
Fucking basic, mate.
Oh, you Oh, so you'll
Oh,
fucking go about
Bloody
you.
weapon. How are your weapons, by the way?
I mean, address to the left.
It's all right. What was I gonna say?
Wait, plural?
So, what do I do? What do you do with these? Well, these are useful mainly for making electric. What these are useful for is for letting you control via Wi-Fi anything that plugs into the wall.
Ooh!
Yes. So what I would normally do is go to my local thrift store because extension cords are stupid expensive. Chop them off, throw it in there, and Bob's your uncle. Then you have a Wi-Fi addressable plug. You can also purchase in-wall plugs that will work with this system. Home Assistant has an amazing ecosystem of things that are available. And actually, you know what I was thinking? If we're having fun today, if we've got time, maybe we could see about actually getting this up and running.
Ooh!
But we'll see how far we get along with the progress. So as I said, first things first with these devices is that we have to make them such that they no longer phone home.
What does that mean?
Well, they come from China, and they come from China with a firmware that, they've got a firmware on them. They work if you use it with the services that they require. But generally, to get these things set up, you have to download an app to your phone. You have to have
A backdoor to the government.
Yeah, basically yes. You're opening all sorts of back doors. Whereas if you go ahead and install on it a third party,
You want communism because that's how you. Well, that's not
no,
good
this
communism.
is not how you get communism at all. Yeah, there's a few up there. SPUino is one of them. I think there's another one that is named. It's not SPUino and not Tasmota, which is my open source firmware of choice. Tasmota, because well, it was the first one that I came across. It works pretty well, and it's got good support for sensors, which is the other thing I wanted to get into.
China's government loves sensors.
Well, the sensors we're talking about today, and we're going to be working with, are number one, the humidity and temperature sensor, which is great. What do you want to call it? A sample use case for that would be record the temperature and humidity. Have this connected to a fan or an air conditioner.
This is going to come back to, like, brewing, isn't it?
Partially, yes.
Hey, Siri, brew the beer.
Yeah, we can get there. We will eventually be able to get there. But, like, just being able to say, okay, well, I mean, if I'm home and the temperature goes over 25 degrees, turn on the fan. That's a nice little thing. If we're, say, working with this sort of thing, if we're saying, hey, if Loading Ready Run is currently streaming on Twitch, turn on the on-air light. Or, as we're going to get into with some of our other things today, if one of these little motion sensors detects motion, turn on the light in the room. After a certain amount of time, turn the light back off.
Set off the claymores.
Yeah. Or the stretch goal for today, and maybe we won't see it, maybe we'll do it for another episode, but I've got these load cells, and I've got this load cell amplifier, and we could just say, put one of these underneath the keg in the kegerator and say, when the load cell reports just the weight of the keg and not the keg full of beer, alert Ian to say, we need more beer.
Can it be a blaring klaxon that's just like, beer, 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 beer?
Beer, 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 beer.
Oh, Alex, we can have a glaring klaxon, we can have it send you an email, we can have text messages, send it through Signal. Apparently, this system also has the ability to communicate with your television, so you can send an alert to that.
McDonald's.
Yeah.
I think you're thinking too small brain with this.
Mm-hmm.
Have the alert case something weird, like a pizza shows up. And you're just like, what the? Oh, right, beer.
Right, yeah. Pizza time. All right, where did I put that installer for VirtualBox? There we go. 612. So I'm not going to go through the whole exercise of installing Home Assistant. That's going to be just an exercise for the user at home. It's a pretty easy system. You can install it on a virtual machine. You can run it on a Raspberry Pi 3 and higher. You can run it inside just your standard Windows or Mac OS 10. It's just a Python app, and it works extremely well.
Do Python apps play Snake?
They're actually named after Monty Python, the programming language.
What?
Yeah.
I did not know that. I mean, I don't know shit about programming to begin with.
It turns out computer programmers are a bunch of nerds. Alex.
What?
Surprise! But we'll at least get us through to the setup point of Home Assistant. Home Assistant. But before we get to that, like I said, we need to make these safe and useful. And why do I consider it safe? Well, it's on GitHub, and that doesn't mean that it's safe automatically, but it does mean that the code is very exposed to scrutiny. And that means the community can get in there and say, "You're doing bad things, please stop."
We're putting our trust in Reddit rather than the Chinese government.
Yeah, we're putting our trust in GitHub, which is, I'd say, at least one step above Reddit's.
Here's a weird aside.
Please, Beach.
I have apparently hidden my chat monitor.
Just
Yours
completely?
is still working though, right?
Yes.
Yes, thanks to the raid and the host that we did for the Lure panel that was, just finishing as we were doing this. Everything got a little bit crazy at the desk here as I realized that I didn't actually take us here in the office back.
Oh no.
And so now I am flailing trying to get my chat window up, and I can't do it.
My fingy stuck to the tread.
It's super weird because it's like I think I hit like Windows Shift or some crazy shit, and now I can't see the window anymore. It's just gone. It's great. So I'll be here for a bit screwing around with that.
Okay. Well, I was just going to ask if you have the top-down view available.
Oh yeah, I do. Definitely.
Great. Is it centered around this area? Excellent. So yeah. So the first thing we're going to have to do, damn it. First thing we're going to have to do is get connected to these little devices. If we can get the close-up cam, that would be perfect. Because we need to communicate. And in order to do so, thankfully, the company behind these Sonoff has provided 3, oops, that's the wrong side. Where's a little pointing device that I can use? 3 or 4 GPIO ports. So those correspond with with 3 ports for ground, 3.3 volts, and communication for serial connection. And then the 4th pin is actually just an exposed GPIO port, which is what we can use to connect the sensors.
All right. I'm with you now.
Okay. Need to push a button, pushing a button. There we go. Thank you. Why did I? Oh, this is a pointing device. Yes, thank you. Thank you, thing. I was not serious about that. Okay. Where were we here? So we're first going to need to solder some headers onto that, and I believe
Sod the heads.
we have a bunch of headers from one of our previous projects for the Wemos D1. The Wemos D1 is actually also a ESP8266 based device, but doesn't have the built-in relay, which makes things so handy for power switching. Fun fact, the previous batch of Sonoffs that I had, instead of using some large gauge wire to actually send the power signals, just had very thick soldered traces on the back, and that looked real ugly and possibly unsafe to me, but hey, it's working fine now and it continues to work fine and will hopefully work fine into the future. Alright, so I've got my various boxes of interesting stuff with me. Gonna do that installation again while we are sitting around. I'm gonna need to restart the NDI for Beej in a bit here so he knows what's up. But let's get that install going while we're going here. Where's my soldering iron? There it is. And there's the solder. I think we're going to want to use the... Probably going to want to use the blade today. Get out the flux. And snippers. We might need the multi-tool. Let's get out the spade. Tip. I feel so future when I'm swapping solder tips on this.
What is that one?
This one's a needle tip versus a spade tip.
You're a spade.
That's a short walk for a good joke.
I never pass up an opportunity to make a Young Ones reference.
I really should watch that at some point.
Oh, please do. It's so good.
Everyone tells me.
It's definitely Margaret Thatcher's England.
Oh, good.
Like, it is all about that era.
Lots of coal jokes.
No, just about what the different people, like the different young groups of people. Like, 'cause there's like a punk and there's like a just kind of a hippie, I guess, and an anarchist. I guess that's Vivian more than anything. Vivian's an anarchist.
Well, I guess.
Yeah. But also like I have a hard time describing what Rick is because Rick's kind of an idiot,
He's like,
and Mike's like kind of a skis.
yeah, he's like a hustler.
Yeah.
But like Rick is a wannabe activist.
Oh yeah.
Kind of like, he's a commie. In that sort of like, no, actually, oh, is he a tanky?
He would be if it was this era, maybe, or like.
I was so disappointed to find out the tanky wasn't people that are like into tanks.
Right.
It's like, oh man, I wanted to tell you about like Chobham armor and like, slopes and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well.
Neil was just kind of a.
Nail.
Neil was like a. I don't want to say he's not like a hippie or anything. He was just kind of like a burnout.
Then could I ask for a USB-C cable?
He's a hippie.
Is he a hippie, you think?
His hair's down to here.
True, yeah.
Peace and love and lentils, man.
Right? Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
no, he's such a hippie.
Yeah.
Like, he's a dyed-in-the-wool hippie. He's like a classic, like, straight out of the 60s hippie.
Yeah. But this was the 80s, which made it such a weird...
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah.
God, that made me think of the line near the end of Withnail and I, where one of the characters remarks, it's like, they're selling hippie wigs at Woolworths. And that was just such a great statement about the, like, end of that era.
Yeah.
God, yeah. Woolworths.
Yep. Hippie wigs at
We
Woolworths.
used to have Woolworths. We used to have Woolco.
Did we?
Yeah, we had
Vegetable rights and peas.
I'm getting a lot of breathing on microphones.
Is it me?
It might be, I'm not
Probably
sure.
me. Well, mine's aimed down.
Yeah.
I'm going through my nose, so that probably shouldn't be... Oh, thank you. These are lightning cables.
Okay, who
Thank you.
just breathed
Okay,
out
let's
through their nose?
separate out.
Who just breathed out through their nose?
Couldn't have been me. I was speaking words to thing.
Maybe we should see if I can find a pop screen for one of you, and we'll see what happens.
Wow. How are we going to do that?
Get the little windscreen, the little ball.
Your face is a windscreen.
Make it work
Sorry, I
somehow.
spoke out of anger.
All right.
Hoses.
Hoses. Policies.
Hoses.
Okay, so go to File Preferences on the Network tab and select Host-Only Networks. Click Add a Host-Only Network. Okay, let's do that. Yes. Creating host-only network interface. Failed to create interface. Why? Do I have to run you as administrator? Is that what the deal is? Ah, thank you thing. All right. Let's try this again. LMN OPV is VirtualBox, starts with a V.
Alex, let's try you with that first. Sorry. Just watch me throw it in like something awful, like.
You just throw it into my glue and it just disappears like that cotton candy. That poor raccoon.
Host network manager, create network.
I'm muted, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Cannot find host interface networking driver.
No, really, baby. They don't have condoms my size.
Sure they do. They're called Snug Fit.
There was a really good one I saw where it's just like, if the guy says like, "Oh, I don't have a condom,"
Yeah.
you respond with, "It's like that's okay. I'm ready to be a mother," and like a condom magically appears that you had forgotten about.
Just out of hammer space.
It's like, oh, that's fucking weird.
Huh.
That's strange that it just, apparated. So I brought these out at the first session of Heat Death, and I forgot to use them.
Oh.
Because I was going to be like, I'm ready.
Okay, good.
Oh, the Nirvana collection. Oh, no.
Wait, which one of those smells like Teen Spirit?
Yeah, there we go.
Well, I mean, all of them. That's what birth control they have access to. Let's see. What
do not put antiperspirant on your genitals.
Okay, tag yourself. Real, smooth and comfortable pleasure. Amplified, a wild ride with intense sensations. Bold, stimulating textures. And breathless, uninterrupted pleasure. The fuck does that even mean?
I mean,
I think it has to do with choking.
I'm gonna say breathless.
You don't put a condom on your tongue!
I'm gonna tag myself as breathless just simply because I don't work out much these days. Thank
You can cut these in half and make a dental dam, but jeez.
Yeah.
Lisa needs braces.
Dental dam.
I'm so happy right now.
You did this.
Yeah. No, that's me. We're reaping the whirlwind.
Move VirtualBox, and then we'll reinstall VirtualBox. Hopefully, that'll make all the difference. You piece of garbage.
You piece of fucking garbage.
At least I can smell my soldering iron getting hot.
That's okay.
All right, let's get... So, interesting fact, or not really so much interesting as it is going to be just a thing. One of these holes, you'll probably be able to see it from this side better. And actually, if we go with this side, they're handily labeled. So the ground pin, TX, RX, and 3.3 volt. And the TX has a blob of solder in it. So we're going to need to, actually what we're going to do is we're going to use that as a handy way of tacking the header pins in place.
I feel as if what you are doing is kind of understood by the manufacturer. Like these traces exist, right? Because normally it's like test traces and stuff is why you would do something like this. But when you make a real product, you might get rid of the test traces because you're like, I don't need these.
Well, oftentimes what'll happen is these, specifically these sort of test ports,
Yeah.
are left in specifically because they are used for testing off the assembly line.
Because it's either that or they're really like, we understand that this is meant to be this kind of extensible product, so we're just going to leave them on the board because we know people want to do other things.
Well,
with
the
them.
other reason, Beej, is like, think about it's an extra step to remove it.
That's true.
You know, because like you could just put a thing over it or like hide it or whatever. It's just like, do we really want to remove this element?
Well, the other thing is, the nice thing about, well, the other reason why I think that's not the case specifically for this kind of device is that this is also a space used specifically for flashing firmware. And if you're a company that updates their firmware over time, then you're going to want to be able to update to flash different firmwares as you continue to make new versions of the chip.
But they would do that before they would install the chips on the devices. They wouldn't do it on anything that's already assembled.
Well, no, it's a lot easier to flash the chips when they're on the device than it is to flash them just in a little machine, because that's another step of taking the chip off what would essentially be just like a tape of these chips, and then placing it into a special device which will then flash it, and then take that chip out or test it there before getting it onto the thing. Electronics design is a funny thing.
Like, haha, funny, or
I'm gonna say no. What's the best way to do this? I think just having this hold it, and then I can push into it from above.
yeah.
Oh, that's quite zoomed in.
You know what I'm going to do, actually? I'm going to actually suck the solder out of that hole first.
That's not right.
No, it's not. You should never try to suck things out of the wound. Although the snake bite kits are really good. Oh, you know what? Never mind.
Where is my sucker? Here we are. All right, so there's other ways to go about doing this than the method I've used. There are over-the-air versions of the software that we use to remove or rather reflash the firmware. But I find that getting in there with a serial device is actually just one of the easiest and most reliable systems. There we go.
Solder suckers are a very strange device to anybody who hasn't seen one before. Because that sort of pop noise that you just made was a spring plunger forcibly extracting the air from the thingamaboobers.
From a tube.
Tube. I'm glad Beej and I are on the same.
Oh yeah, Ian
page.
was there too, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love tube.
Robin
Cube.
is into that one a lot.
It's one of them that are shibboleths.
Ah, son of a banger.
What's the best way?
Okay. Okay.
See, this is why I don't necessarily like third hands, is they never
bend.
Yeah, they never bend exactly the way you want them to.
You need those ones that had a little ball, the repeating Gorilla Pod ball things.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I need a few of those, actually, is what I need. Let's see here. Nope, this is not going to be a case where tape's going to work for me either,
Oh, come on.
necessarily. We'll just tack one in there, and that should be enough to hold it up. Let's not forget to flex this time, too.
Work with Daddy here.
Oh, what's Daddy need for you? Okay, and just paint with flux. Like an over-enthusiastic preschooler.
The thing that popped into my mind was that picture of that young girl who's like had a cup of juice and looks like she's just, you know, taking spice melange or something.
Like by the orange drink. I set my mind in motion.
I just watched that movie again recently. It popped up on YouTube. It was like a fan edit where they cut in a bunch of scenes that I'd never seen
not
before.
the sweeted version?
No, the Turkish Dune.
There's a one that a bunch of people got together and just made janky costumes and filmed it in their attic in their backyard and stuff.
Is there?
Yeah, it's
No
not bad.
shit. That's amazing.
It's
very good.
really fast. Like they move through scenes incredibly fast.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, I only watched for a couple minutes of it because I was kind of like, yeah. I mean, this is definitely of the era you made it in too. So I'm like, eh.
Yeah.
They make an emerald joke in the first 6 seconds.
Oh,
And it's just like, yeah,
holy.
no, I can't do that. All right.
Damn already.
I really like the David Lynch Dune movie. I think it's cool.
I hope Villeneuve's is sufficiently weird.
Well, I mean, it's like you don't make a Dune movie to be normal.
No.
There we go.
Why do I keep having that as a... I don't like that option at all.
Okay, I can't attach this yet
One in.
because...
You know what? Let's do another one while we got these out here. Because we're going to need to do all 4 of these eventually.
Yeah.
Let's keep the screws together because those are important. Well, we've got the equipment out. We might as well take advantage of the time. All right. Put that down. I really should print off a stand for that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, a stand for a 3D printed stand for my soldering iron and tip cleaner. Oh, interesting. This one doesn't have the blob of solder that kept the pins from going through it.
It's almost like they're just haphazardly assembled.
QC check my ass.
You know that's just a sticker anybody can put on, right?
I doubt it.
There's some sort of quality control organization out there that...
I mean, there's a... No, you know what? Nobody... Wow. Alex, it's not even a sticker. It's printed directly on the paper. So I guess they don't slide one of these into the box unless it's been properly passed.
I like that it's meant to simulate a stamping of a blank card. Like, that's pre-approved.
The trouble is, these are actually just really great little devices. I'm not going to stop saying that.
No, true. I mean, how much are they running in?
If you're paying more than about $5 US, you're probably paying too much.
So in that way, it almost feels like if you're going to order 2, order 3.
Yep.
Because if one of them comes out not QC'd properly, F it. You spend $5, here's another one.
It's so much easier than trying to run through returning it.
Yeah.
Now, that said, if you need your $5, go ahead and return it.
Yeah. Yes, Ian is indeed soldering over our good gaming table with absolutely no protection below him.
Mm-hmm. Good gaming table. We're probably going to be all the soldering we'll do all day. Almost. See, I bought 5 of these at once this time. The last time I bought 2, and I thought, I should have bought more. So I did. What's going on with you, Alex?
Well, I'm trying to figure what I'm going to actually try to assemble.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm at this weird juncture between starting to paint and starting to assemble. So I think I'm going to try adding a bunch of the hydraulics. We'll see how that goes.
Sounds like a decent plan. I need to extract 2 more pins from this D1 package. Or 2 more sets of pins, rather. There we go. Let's clip those in half with the clipper.
Why do I keep losing my... I'm also doing a DIY here myself.
And what's your DIY,
My
Beach?
DIY is trying to figure out how the how some of the camera stuff works that we've got.
Ah.
Yeah.
I think Corey's added some new scenes. Box up there. That way we'll know which ones are unprepared. And then we're going to have to go back and solder the rest of the pins in as well. Let's not forget that, because if we do, boy, won't we look the fool.
And I am the fool, and I don't care anymore. Everybody betrayed me.
That doesn't jive with my understanding of Stardust Crusaders at all.
What?
Everyone loved Iggy and the Fool. Yes, that was a JoJo's reference.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
More of these quality control stickers.
When can we start saying okay, Numer?
Okay, Numer?
N-Y-O-O-M-E-R. Num.
I'm unfamiliar with the term Numa.
I mean, it's probably because I made it up right now.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, then we can start, I don't know, next week?
Yeah, all right.
Is a Numer a new type boomer, or is it a newer than a boomer?
I guess. I don't know. How many other, like, bullshit delineations between generations can we, come up with?
I mean, just the numbers of the Julian calendar are probably bad enough.
Drive a wedge. Drive a wedge. Drive a wedge. Ah! Hooked on a feeling. Thank you, Beach.
Ah, the French champagne.
That's very good.
Has anyone remixed
I was just
good
thinking,
enough yet?
Well, oh God, yeah.
The French champagne.
Oh, it's even better when you're dead.
All right, let's get these boys all hooked right, fully hooked up. 4 more pins each, and we'll do number 5 when I get some more pins.
I think I know what I'm going to do.
What you gonna do?
I'm going to make a big commitment. So many of these parts intersect with each other in a way that demands... I don't know how to describe this, but like they're all connected to one another, and I need to choose a point where they're sub-assembled. And I think that this will be one, because this kit is going to be assembled with the blade, the dozer blade in the up position. And to do that, we can assemble these little hinges here, and these little parts, these buffer pads, go on there. So that would actually be a very solid little connection there to adhere it together. So I think I'm actually just going to do that, and then this whole section can be painted. And then we can paint the hydraulic cylinders that attach to it, and then connect here later, and I hope that that will work. If it doesn't, I can shorten them manually. Well, we'll see.
While you were clearing carbon, I was assembling the dozer blade.
You mean graphite?
Yes, I do mean graphite. Why do I keep saying carbon?
Because you didn't see any. Game.
Does the C in John Cena stand for carbon?
Holy moly. Do do do. Shit. Fuck. Piss. Cocks. Asshole. Shit. Cunt.
And now you know the lyrics to the John Cena song. Your time is up. My time is now. Shit, fuck, cocks, my time is now.
Hey, wasn't that? It's like you get some shit and some fuck.
You get some fuck and some shit and some fuck and shit. You got a fuck shit stack. A fuck shit stack. Yeah.
Get shit and lower the mother. Put 12-inch rims on the mother. I love that song.
Welcome to Tinker Tailor Solar Fry, the pottiest mouth on the Loading Ready Run Videos network.
Oh, we stuck to the mat. Come on, little mortal. You're not supposed to be stuck there. That's better. No, you're stuck again. Oh, God. Harold, Ralphie's done it again. Oh,
Did he?
we'll never be able to show our face in this delicatessen again.
God damn it.
He's gonna wear your ass out with that leather belt. You know, the +2 one.
Is that the dexterity or the strength?
I just got a belt extension.
Oh, so it's going for armor class.
Jesus Christ. You fancy pants gangster.
You know, I had a cousin once who double classed like that. It didn't work out too well.
That's like an old George Carlin reference. It's like, I want to say that's like Occupation Fool or something.
Okay.
Da, da, da.
These are ready to go. Beach,
Yes.
do you have the NDI system working?
I mean, you have to be the one who has it added.
Shit, fuck, cock.
Broadcast.
Ixion?
I am broad. Yes, that's me.
Well, please enjoy what's about to appear there. This is literally all I can do at this point. I have done exactly what I've needed to do to make it come up on screen.
Oh,
And if it does not come up on screen, then I don't know what the
so
problem is.
have you done it?
I have absolutely done it. I could try doing it again.
Oh no.
Yeah. I got a bunch of other things I can
Yeah,
click.
if you're seeing
I can
Ixion,
cl- I
that's
can
that
click
is correct.
That comes on screen, but it has nothing to do with what we're doing today.
Let's see here, NDI.
I love the very low rent DIY nature that I even treat this show with.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's make sure I've got.
It does see you. Like, that's the thing, is if it couldn't see you, it wouldn't be able to put it up in the first place. But I'm gonna try again adding it.
Okay, hold on. I'm not seeing myself now. For whatever reason. Okay, good. There we are. Okay, now we should be seeing something. We should be getting an infinite loop. Maybe try reconnecting if you get a second.
Sure, yeah. I'll just remove it, actually, and we'll add it again. And we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Because if it doesn't work at all, then that's fine. Maybe.
Does your IP address, is it 02?
Let me make sure of that. Yeah, I have many IP addresses probably.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Windows. Okay, I am broadcasting, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Settings. Network. Status. Ethernet. Unidentified network, no internet. Not connected, okay. Identifying. Okay, I should have one IP address that is... God,
Is it 0.2?
It is... Yes, it is, 0.2.
Okay, cool. So I wasn't expecting anything different then. Not sure why it's not passing it. But Paul did say, he's like, hey, if this doesn't work, there's nothing you can do about it.
If this
Good.
doesn't work, well,
Good.
die.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, we don't have DHCP over the wired connection, do we?
That's a good question. You could be on the wrong subnet, but it still sees you, is what I don't understand.
Okay. Well, I mean, the Wi-Fi is then seeing me properly, correctly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm getting an unidentified network for my Ethernet, which is fine, I guess.
Can you disconnect the Ethernet, and I can see if it sees you on a completely different IP address?
Well, yeah. So right now, the only IP address that I've got is via the Wi-Fi.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay.
Yep. Oh well.
If you're on the Ethernet, though, like if you're plugged in, where is the other end of that plug plugged into right now?
The switch underneath on top of the computer there, which was where Paul told me to plug into.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Yes, he did.
Okay. There's a lot of things that...
Hold on.
There's no reason for me to have stuff communicated to me in a lot of ways, so... I can understand why he'd be like... Ian, you can plug in here. You don't have to worry about... Beach doesn't need to know about that. Because I wouldn't need to, right?
Why would
It's just
Beach
like
need to know about that?
you would plug in and it would just work. Like, that's the thing, right? Like, it'll work for you. Don't worry about it. Beach doesn't have to help you troubleshoot that.
It looks
part.
like it might have been my problem there, actually, that the
Oh, yeah?
Ethernet was configured to statically broadcast on O2.
Oh,
So-
wild.
Why was it reporting the other one was O2?
I don't know.
Oh,
Let me know when you've got it ready, though, because it still sees. It still sees. It's just not receiving. And I thought
Okay.
there might be like something to do with the firewalls or something to do with.
This is probably correct then.
Okay. So it's still Ixion, right?
Yeah, still Ixion, but the IP address you should now be looking for is ending in 6.5
Fascinating.
and has a number that is a different number before that.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I'm not sure how secure we're trying to keep our
I'd like to keep it pretty secure.
network topology.
Like,
That's the one.
great. Okay. It still sees you as 0.2. This is fascinating.
Aha! Well, let me stop broadcasting and then start again.
Yeah.
Boop.
Do you just switch it off and on again?
Yes, quite literally that. So it's been switched off, and then we're going to switch on.
Definitely keep
Okay,
seeing
what's
you.
that from? Like, that's a reference to, like, some sort of 80s anime, isn't it?
Switch. As far as I know, the last thing that I know the switch on comes from is Kamen Rider 4's.
Forza?
Yes.
Okay, because, like, Sushi Ramen on YouTube makes that reference as well, but it also shows up in Otaku no Video.
Like, I think
As a reference.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, we're dorks in an elevator.
it's just literally any time that there's a switch on in any sort of one of those shonen mech shows.
They make is it a Yamato reference where he's just like, target the scope open.
That's definitely Yamato.
Like, that's, yeah, for sure Yamato. But, yeah. Targetto scope open.
Targetto.
Target. So if this
Why?
goes,
So, okay, I need to do
Schmeow.
this. Configure region of interest. Okay, good. Region of interest is that area. Ixion now exists.
God.
Okay, now I should be broadcasting. Or at least now I've confirmed that I'm broadcasting.
It still thinks you're on 0.2.
Really?
Yeah. If it's supposed to automatically figure that out, and I'm worried that that XSplit is actually just not like refreshing its
It's things.
yeah, like it. I don't know when it's supposed to refresh them, so or if it ever will. Huh. Oh, actually, I have an idea. Turn off NDI altogether on your end.
Okay.
Thank you. It's just now off. You've closed the whole scan converter.
I have, yep, closed scan converter and closed everything.
Okay.
I also need to pull out my...
Ah, it still sees you.
Does it?
Yes.
Let's see what the activity monitor has to say about that. Or, let's just restart the computer.
Sure, I'm down with that too.
It's fast.
So using my Hackintosh briefly, I'm starting to realize exactly, it's like, boy, you know, I was spoiled using an actual MacBook for the last several years. And just using some POS plastic PC to put the Hackintosh stuff on top of them. Like, there's something about build quality that I've come to really love that I'm missing out on now.
That's why I bought that's why I bought a Lenovo for it.
Yeah, an actual good machine to be a Hackintosh, if you're going to do it.
I mean, HPs, I understand, are also open up. They're like the budget version.
Well, my ProBook is a lot of plastic, and I love. There's some things about it that I really do like, but I also am a little bit like, oh, this flexes and moves like it probably shouldn't.
Yeah, like if a Lenovo was a nice Italian restaurant, then a ProBook would be an Olive Garden,
Yeah.
and then a Dell would be your Sbarro.
Oh God. Sbarro, where it's just like, you know what? I want food poisoning.
I don't know if the Latitudes have gotten any worse or not. I know the Inspirons have always been bad, but Latitudes, like I was like, Dell makes a pretty solid laptop back in the mid 2000s. Like I have no idea what they're like now.
Oh no. I would like a mini USB cable.
Sorry, mini or micro?
Mini.
Miniature.
Yeah. I know there's one, and it's next to the XLR to mini USB converter. Top row, about closer to the left.
Okay.
And they should be Velcro together. I know this because I saw it when I was getting power earlier. Anyway, we are restarted. Do you see anything NDI related?
It has constantly been showing me Ixion.
Okay.
Let's see if we're any different now.
Yeah, I'm going to check to see if there's any...
No, it still thinks you're on a completely different IP address.
Really?
And I have no idea how to make it stop seeing that. Because it's XSplit that makes these decisions. So yeah.
We're going to try one more time.
Sure.
Not to interrupt you, but
Yeah.
so this is going to need a bunch of finessing because, like an idiot, I built the hydraulic cylinders to the same length, so they don't quite match up. But this is going to be the end position for
Oh,
the dozer
so
blade.
much. And yes.
So I'm just gonna unmount that for now.
and that's more of so that it's going to kind of always be permanently in that spot.
Yes, I'm gonna pick one position to put it in, and it's gonna be with blade up. Just kind of like that's where it, because the brief for this, I'm building this kit for my dad, and he wanted it to be like wrecked, and it's like this is the sort of like, okay, park it, and now we will forget about it because it's radioactive.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, it's just like, and then the Russian government will make it disappear.
They've had experience.
Oh, they're doing a scrap iron drive, so.
I mean, no, that's good. You just you dilute everything.
Recycling. That is not how it works, but good try.
Okay. Yeah, so I do have Ixion back broadcasting again.
Okay.
See if that works, and if not, then we'll give up.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be nice to show off, but not necessary.
You aren't defining the IP address on your end, are you?
Not at this point, no.
Okay.
At this point, everything is DHCP.
Right. But I don't mean in your network settings. I mean in the NDI. Like, is
No.
it saying this is all the information I'm sending from my end?
The Scan Converter app doesn't allow me to do anything other than set the capture settings and the region of interest.
Okay. Because yeah, this XSplit's settings are essentially add source. Then you select the stream. You say it's an NDI thing. Oh look, there's Ixion. I click on that, and it says, yeah, I'm going to add you. Here's the IP address that I'm adding you at and the port number that I'm pulling this from. And that's it.
Oh.
Those are your choices. Once you've... then I can open the settings for that, and I can smash the refresh button. It doesn't do anything.
Suck.
Yeah, and if I hit apply to do something, it doesn't do anything. And if I try to... there's all my other things are just effects and color and layout and stuff. It's like there's no other place to choose any other information. So,
We'll use the ones we've already got. Don't need to open new ones just yet, because we've still got a bunch of...
So I think people are going to just have to not be able to see...
Yep, we'll have to make do with it as it is. Which should be fine for this one.
Do we have paint?
We have some kinds of paint. What kinds of paint do you need? Are they flesh-colored paints?
No. Okay. So here's a dilemma I have. This crane section.
That works.
Is hang on a second. Let me just get all the parts.
That's me.
Oh yeah, that is you.
Okay. So here's the crane. And it's like made out of sort of box girder, and the underside is open, but I haven't attached the rest of the parts that are going to cover it like that, because I will have to do something to at least make the inside of it black so that you don't see the interior, because even if I spray paint this, it's not going to get the inside properly.
Right.
And that's a pain in the ass.
Yes.
Which makes me think if we had like some black paint of some sort, I could actually just like hand paint that and then glue this together. But Cam brings his own paints, doesn't he?
Yes, yes he does.
What about Sharpie?
Yeah?
May I try? That would actually be great, because then it'll stain the plastic. It won't chip off. The thing is that it's only going to be visible through these holes. So let's give it a shot. I mean, it's not going to permanently screw it up.
You can always like sand it off a little bit if you need
Yeah,
to.
or not even. Like the inside doesn't matter what it looks like. It just has to be dark so that you can't see it at a glance. Oh man, I could just do all the metal with this silver pen. Ooh, let's be responsible and do a test piece. You know, I really wish I had one of those like Magnum Sharpies that have the actual like pigment. But that's
Oh,
not
yeah.
bad.
You know, we have paint Sharpies. Yeah, oil or water-based.
Yes.
Okay, I'll be right back.
We'll find out. Oh, this is exciting. We're gonna get messed up on markers.
Messed up on markers.
What's up, Commander?
So these are some of my favorite things. These are test probes. You got your standard dew point
Do not put that in me.
pin connector on the back. Oh no, it's not going inside you. These tiny things just come out
Oh! Oh!
and grip.
They're so small!
Yep, they're there for you to be able to latch onto, say, the edge of a pin
That's amazing.
and make an electrical connection there.
That's adorable.
They're super handy for flashing chips.
You know, when you gotta flash the chips.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god! Oh.
Flash all the chips. Okay, well, the point is we're using a program called Tasmotizer, which does what it says on the box. It makes Tasmota happen. When we run it, maybe I'll just flip the monitor around and we can show off how that works. Things you want to do, though, you are going to need some form of a serial adapter to your USB. If you've got a computer that has serial in it, good on you. But you're also going to make sure that you're running at 3.3 volts and not 5 volts, because if you run at 5 volts, you'll fuck it up real bad. So, let's see here. We want to use VCC is going to be our red. And then RX and TX are what we're going to be doing here, right? If I remember correctly. Other thing to do, by the way, never, ever, ever flash a Tasmota while it is plugged into the wall. You want to be doing this all before you install the power mains cords. Because if you do, you'll get you'll get a mix-up of voltages, and everything will be ruined. Not necessarily, but there's a very good chance it will.
So is this that the moment you plug this thing, like all the data side stuff that you're doing is all done at 3.3 volts?
Yes.
But all of the operation side, I'm assuming, is done at 12 volts DC.
No, the operational stuff is 120 volts AC.
Oh, it's okay. So straight AC.
Yeah, it's got its own little buck converter on it
I
to
see.
step down, but you don't want to.
Question.
Yes.
Q-tips. Or a paintbrush no one cares about.
Yes. There was I think on the equipment room desk, there's like some weird cotton swab thingies. Long wooden cotton swabs? Maybe.
One of the things I like about Tasmota and the Tasmotizer, which I've been trying today for the first time actually, is that it actually makes it possible for you to send settings directly to the Tasmota, to the Sonoff, without having to log into it first. Because some of the times the flash doesn't properly take, and well, you'll end up having to reflash it several times or get off your Wi-Fi network to... We'll get to it when it happens, but what you have to do normally to configure these things is connect to them when they first boot up with their own little access point. You actually connect to the Wi-Fi access point, access them via a web browser, configure them there. But if you can configure them during the flash, even better.
Okay.
Let me make sure that I've got...
So this was a great idea. The problem is that like the head is too wide to actually get in there. Although
all my medium-sized ones are all metallic colors,
that's okay.
like bronze, and silver, and gold.
I wonder. This is such a bad idea. Nah, that's... let's not tempt fate. Just, oh god. Well, shit. I guess we can continue anyway.
I need a fourth cable. I completely forgot.
Nanny.
I got voltage, transmit, receive, but not ground hooked up.
Meme?
We need ground. We need earth.
Wind. What? All that other bullshit.
Winge.
Squinge. Squatter. Squart. Skate, skate.
Let me see what I've got here. I might be able to partially help you out if the colors are acceptable. Okay, I can offer you some colors. The brown may be useful.
I still don't think it'll get in there. Thank you, though.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, you need to brush it in with a brush.
Yeah, me without my art kit.
Yeah. Boo. Okay, now I've got them here. So, RX, we're going to make that red because it's R. TX, we're going to make blue because it's not RX. Ground will be gray. And VCC, which is our 3.3 volts, will be white. Let's all remember those. Power on the Shiro cable, ground on the gray cable.
Did you just say the Shiro cable?
Yes, because I didn't want to say the words white and then the words power cable directly after each other. We think ahead on this show.
No, we don't.
All right, so we need to unplug this. We're going to go... Now, here's the thing. You want... RX to go to... Yes, you want RX to go to TX and TX to go to RX.
Excuse me.
So let's start with ground. Ground is the top one. That's gray. Good. Then next one down is TX. So that's going to be our RX, which is blue.
Red.
No. The other way around.
Oh, I see.
Because they have to be reversed on the back side.
Ah.
Then our RX, which is red on the serial side, goes to the TX on the other side. But I've got that backwards. We want TX to be to RX. Because it's crossed over. Yeah, RX, TX. I mean, the nice thing about working with serial this way is that if you just reverse your RX and your TX, you're not going to ruin anything.
No.
And then white connects to the 3.3 volt connector. All right, we have successfully connected the serial connection lines. Now, we're going to connect it up to our computer. But before we do that, we are going to hold down the power, or just the button switch on the Tasmota. And what that does is it bridges GP port 0 with GPIO 0 and ground, which will put it into flashing mode when we connect the power. So let's connect the power, and then we'll let go, and then we launch the Tasmotizer. The Tasmotizer. All right.
Ask your doctor if Tasmatizer is right for you.
So COM4, I think that's our port. God, I hope so. We're going to go with a release version. We're going to go with the Tasmota sensors, because that's what we want to do. We want access to more of those sensors. And we're going to erase before flashing and back up the original firmware, because it'll do all those things. Let's Tasmotize. Well, the lights are flashing on the serial connector, but nothing's happening.
That's bad, right?
It's not great. Failed to connect. Timed out waiting for packet header. So that leads me to believe that I might not have connected it properly. Let's see here. What can go wrong? Wire connections and solder joints. Double check all connections and all solder overflow. Use a USB data cable. Sometimes cables are only charging, but that one appears to not be because it's sending information. Insufficient power delivered. That should be fine. Recheck your serial to USB adapter. Ensure that it's 3.3. Releasing GPIO button wire before booting is finished. It's safe to leave it connected for the entire programming process. Just be sure to remove it when you're booting for regular stuff. Make sure the RX pin is connected to the TX pin on the serial and your ESP device and vice versa. Erase the flash memory first and power cycle afterwards. Well, let's go back to the Tasmotizer.
Can I use this?
Yes. Yes. We're just going to disconnect the power then.
Could you say Tasmotizer a few more times?
Sure, it's going to happen. So we're going to hold down that button and then plug in the power. Come on. Okay, let the boot happen. And then open the Tasmotizer. Release Tasmota sensors.
Attack his life points directly.
Still nothing. Still nothing.
Don't you love computers?
Yeah, I do sometimes.
That's how they get you.
By letting you love something? Yeah. Okay, failed to connect. How are our joints? They look pretty good. Let's try this again. Unplug the ground. Replug that in. Tasmotize. Let's go.
Oh, real quick, what the fuck does Tasmotize mean?
It means to install Tasmota, which is the name of this firmware.
I see. What makes it deserving of its own special name?
Well, you got everything needs a name. What else are you going to call it?
Software.
Well, there are competing different types of software for replacement firmware for an ESP8266. And we've decided that ESPuino is another one, but I like Tasmota. Did that work? It went away. I think it worked. Huh. Well, there's only one way to find out.
There's going to be one of those I'm a genius, oh no moments.
Could be. Let's get this party started. Time to make the Tasmota device. So I'm going to give this about this much space here to comfortably come off the wall and then be able to sit down on itself. So we're going to slice it right about here. Let's give it a cut. Sam! Sam. Big Zam. Big Zam. Oh, look at that. A wrapped power cable is just regular power underneath. Who would have thought? Okay. Where's my brand new wire stripper? Lovingly donated to the cause by a friend of the show, Texan Reverend. Love this thing.
See, I really should have reacted there as if somebody or something had hit my eye. But, you know, crying wolf.
I appreciate that. Okay, and boom. Extremely useful. Okay, let's pull these apart. Ooh, these are tough. We're going to have to slice that center line a bit before it'll start coming apart easily. There we go. Just a bit of split. Just enough to give us space to work.
Tasmadeus, 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 Tasmadeus. Oh, 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 Tasmadeus.
Tasmadeus, Tasmadeus. Can I connect to Wi-Fi anymore?
Of course you can. Well, I couldn't before.
All right, so let's get this into a box for now, so that we don't have so we just limit the number of exposed wires we've got. I don't want to say eliminate, because hey, this is Tinker Tailor Solder Fry.
Soldier
And
try.
something's going to happen.
All right.
All right, I'm with you now, Ted.
Which side is hot? Does anyone remember? Is the big side the load, or is the big side neutral?
What? Sorry, on the plug?
Yeah, on a polarized plug.
I mean, I'd say big load myself.
I can look it up.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure the fat plug's a load though.
That would make sense.
Are we still doing phrasing?
Oh, don't look at me.
I didn't watch C-Lab, so.
What?
Yeah, C-Lab 2021.
Okay.
Sure, that's where that joke came from, right?
Sure.
Small says hot, says Google, says Arclight Dynamo. You have a name that refers to electricity, so I'm going to trust you.
Choose to trust.
So thick for load, or small load. Small load, big neutral.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I love that band.
Yeah, big neutral energy. Let's just open those screws wide open. Stick them little coppery bits inside. I forgot my electric screwdriver at home. The Decadent West.
Sometimes, for shits and giggles, I install hot to green.
Oh, God. So, one of the things I would recommend if you're going to do this, or do a lot of these, is to look into 3D printing or otherwise purchasing or making a more robust case for these things. Because this does provide a little bit of space to for some cable strain relief, but not a whole hell of a lot. And in fact, I've already mussed up what I'm supposed to do here.
Did you get him on the wrong side?
No. So the way these cases work
Yeah.
is, it's easier to show than
Let me
tell.
guess. You put it inside the case, you close up the case, then you try to wire it from inside the case.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah.
Kind of like this.
Jesus Christ.
Did I get the no, wrong side? Ah, there we go. Maybe.
I want to die. Who would do this? What a terrible design.
So basically, I can't believe you've wired this.
Oh yeah, this is extremely cheap. But it's extremely cheap.
Yeah.
I was going to try and print off a case last night for the show, but unfortunately...
Hang on, does that not mean that the screws are hot?
No, these screws are hot, yes.
Yes.
The other screws that actually provide the strain relief, which go down through here
You're right.
and attach to these clamps, those are not attached to anything
thank
other than
God.
plastic.
Oh, there's a thing that goes over top of it, is what you're showing. Because I was like, literally, you have hot screws just exposed to the environment. Okay. Okay.
Oh yeah, maybe that's why I have such a little problem with the sort of tinkering I do with electronics at home. I have no intention of having children ever, and you should never bring children to my house.
It's a death trap.
Not if you're paying attention.
Oh my God. Ow.
Are you okay?
No.
Oh, do you need to go deal with that?
No. I will deal with it on my own. Wait, how big is it? It's not that big.
What? Is it a boogie?
All right, back in my eye.
No.
Ow. No, a little thing is awfully big when it gets in your eye. I'll be right back.
Oh,
That's
boy.
okay. Oh, maybe take us to the wide shot before you leave. Okay, goodbye.
See ya. Excuse me.
Hey!
What?
You know how like things usually are shitty and batteries not included? Yeah, light included. I'm so proud of this company.
That's just considerate.
Yeah, that's so rare. Look at this. This is
That's a weird bulb.
hideous.
Oh, it doesn't. You don't get to see it.
Stick it back in there.
Eagle.
The CAD software?
Sure.
Okay.
I don't think this one got drilled.
Sure are a lot of holes one can use with this. Because I have now committed to setting this thing up. Garbage up there. Ah. Outlet box connected fixture used in wet location must be sealed with non-hardening caulk, unless mounted on waterproof outlet box using gasket provided. So something funny, Mr. Derry, about
No.
non-hardening caulk?
I choose not to share it with the class.
I fucking hope so.
So you best keep that put away.
Rigid fist up, bottom outside. God, that's a good sketch. I mean, that whole it's not an album; it's just like a performance.
Yeah. I actually have a Rowan
Roman Atkinson.
Atkinson live in Belfast, which has a couple of those sketches on it,
Amazing.
but has a bunch of other ones that I had never heard before. It's not a bad album, but wasn't amazing.
He's a very funny man.
He's very funny.
It messes me up that he has stage fright.
Really?
Yeah, he has crippling stage fright.
Poor man. Okay. Now, you know what? We're just going to wire this up externally for now, and then we can worry about fitting it inside the sign later. But I do like using this gasket.
Oh, right, there is a new Blackadder coming out, isn't there?
Is there?
I'm really nervous it's just going to be, phone's bad. I mean, like, we'll see, but it's like,
I don't know where they set it.
I heard that it's contemporary.
Really?
Interesting.
Yeah, that's why I'm nervous.
Yeah.
It's like contemporary, maybe at a school, which, yeah, would make me very nervous.
Ooh.
It was just like, I'm the dry, acerbic professor who hates all you woke millennials.
Right. I mean,
Piss off, Grandpa!
I kind of want them to be like I want them to be ensemble pieces now. I want Stephen Fry and Hugh Laurie involved. I want
Yep.
like
I want to see Hugh Laurie being stupid again.
yeah.
Haul the boys back.
I want everyone to come back. You
Yeah.
know, like
Oh God, Stephen Fry. Bah.
how are you doing, young lady?
I forget the name of the actor who plays Baldric, which is awful.
Tony Robinson.
Yeah, he's. Oh.
Wait, the
I've got a cunning plan to
The
invest
handshake
in
guy?
Bitcoin. You see, it's like electric money, and it's in the sky. And this
When you
gentleman,
say it out loud like that, it really
I
just
know, right? It's like this gentleman from Malaysia said, "I can definitely trade it in for real money." He hasn't returned my emails for a couple weeks, which is weird.
these go on the front side. These screws.
I love that somebody made a fucking Ponzi coin.
Oh, did they? Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
and then they
remember
ran
this.
off with all the money.
Yeah.
So, of course.
They were very upfront about
It
it.
was just like, this is a scam.
Yeah.
No, we're not in like a meme joke way. This is a scam.
I am using the word scam in a legal context.
We are going to steal money from you.
Is it really theft if you let somebody know right away? It's like, I'm going to take all of this from you. You're going to give it to me, and you're not getting any of it back.
It's a stupidity tax. I
Who
don't know.
wants in?
I do.
All right, and they did it twice.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
I'm part of the .com bubble.
Which reminds me, if you have the means, I highly suggest you go out and purchase some Apple stock today or in the next few weeks.
Why is that?
It's on sale.
It is on sale. It is on big sale.
Whoa. Since when does stock go on sale?
So for certain stocks, like specifically like Apple, which have a pretty good track record and will most definitely recover once everything else recovers, if everything else recovers, the stock is essentially on sale. Like when what is
You have to think of it this way. It's like anytime they do a product announcement, for the week leading up to the product announcement, the stock usually stays pretty steady, but it starts to slowly rise. The moment they do a product announcement, everybody sells. It drops the price of the stock, and at that point, for like the next 2 or 3 days after the product announcement, it drops for no reason, and then you can pick up the stock at a song because everyone's like, oh, this was terrible. Nobody wants any of this shit. And then everyone comes in and buys up the stock that everyone else dumped. And then it starts to pick up again and actually goes quite high because it turns out the stuff they made, people ended up buying it.
I think I would, if I had money to invest in something, I would just buy gold. Maybe that's boring, but
no, it's all about what your risk assessment is.
I mean, like, I don't know anything about investment, but I have heard that you do want to, like, diversify.
Oh yes.
Don't
Oh yes.
put everything in one basket.
Absolutely.
Mainly, I just want to have some gold because I think it's cool. It's very dense.
No, it's very cool. I would suggest getting German Krugerrands if you can.
Krugerrands are South African.
Yeah, get some German ones.
Those weren't Krugerrands, Ian. Did they have a manji on them?
I think they were Baron bonds. Golden bearer bonds.
Like that was Bill Bailey did about that in the Swiss bank. Just like trolling them for accepting currency of troublesome origin.
Indeterminate origin.
No, we know exactly where it came from.
I mean, anyone could have put that on the gold.
I did hear that a lot of gold during the war was hidden by dissolving it into aqua regia. and it's just stored in jugs. And it's
there
like,
was,
what's this weird brown slime?
There were Nobel prizes. There's a Nobel Prize belonging to a scientist, and when he had to escape because he was of Jewish origin, his lab partners or whatever the people who also worked with him took his Nobel Prize or Nobel Prizes or whatever, but basically because they're big things of gold. And yeah, they dissolved them in aqua regia and just set them up on the shelf. And so when the Nazis come rolling through, they're like, take anything that's valuable. And they look around and there's like a bunch of dangerous
slurm.
brown bottles, right? It's like,
Well, we don't want slurm.
Yeah, don't touch any dangerous brown bottles because they'll probably kill you. And so they left them all alone.
Yes, I should probably also mention we are not a fiduciary. We are not a federal company. Do not take financial advice from Tinker Tailor.
Oh my God! Don't take any advice from us. Holy shit.
Okay, well, the button works. So that's good.
Hang on, did you just do that to test the button?
No, that's, I wanted to make it nice and wired up.
Okay.
Okay, that part works. So next up, we got to find out if it's online. And by doing that, I'm going to check my Wi-Fi. So don't look at my screen, anyone.
Okay.
We should see if it has been properly installed. I'm seeing a flashing Wi-Fi, which means there should be around here some form of a open Wi-Fi.
I shall open your Wi-Fi.
Hidden network secured.
Your Wi-Fis shall be mine forevermore.
So I'm not seeing it here. Is it going to show up on my phone? The problem with these boys, these Tasmotas, is that they are 2.2 gigahertz radios only.
Sorry, 2.2 or
2.4. Sorry,
okay.
yes.
Yeah.
The one that exists. Not,
Thank you. Okay.
and sometimes that can make it a bit difficult to get on the network if people are prioritizing 5 gigahertz. Which is not the same as 5G, and 5G isn't even a good thing. Nor is it even really a thing yet, so.
Yeah.
Everybody hurts.
Okay, so it appears to not be online, which is fine. This happens weirdly a lot. So let's see if we can get it into pairing mode. Or let's just unhook it, and then we'll see about reflashing it here. Or actually just rather looking at the screen while it does the flashing so that I can tell whether or not it completed properly.
Anybody else's chair vibrating?
What?
Just
oh, good.
you.
The drugs just kicked in. Okay. Literally, my chair is vibrating. I don't know where it's coming from.
That's just your drugs.
Okay, it is just the drugs.
Those cat drugs.
That's why I had to run off to the bathroom. I had to put some eye lube in
For your eyes.
for my eyes.
Your special eyes.
My brand.
My brand.
My brand is that my eyes are fucked up.
I mean,
It's a very well-known brand by this point, Ian.
it's just like, try Bayer my eyes are fucked up eye lube.
Hey, my eyes are less fucked up.
Huh.
Okay. Thankfully, we don't have to remove all of the wiring to get back at this. Okay, once again, I'm connecting the TX and the RX. I'm connecting the TX to the RX and the RX to the TX because it is a backwards operation. Red is the RX, it goes to the TX. Blue goes to the other one. Once again, I'm asking you to connect the blue wire. Do not connect the red wire for Akana.
Wow, that's...
All right, there we go. Nice and close.
Coex. Right. Gray was ground. Gray is always ground. We'll connect ground last. Which means 3.3 volts goes on that side. Hold down the button until boot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thanks, Arclight. Okay, and release. Column 4, release. Let's go through standard test mode. Do not erase. Send config. Oh, okay, good. I'm actually going to make some configurations here. Can I? What? Why can't I config? Allow me to config.
You can't... You have config, sir.
Backup original firmware. Erase before fresh. Tasmatize. Connecting to ESP. Abort. Abort. Flashing process has been aborted by user. Why does it always quit when it's done?
I mean, that's how sex works.
Right? Peace!
It's just like nut and blast out the window. Or you just like...
Like space.
Like the end of contact.
So, Beej, what do you think?
Let's zoom in on that again. Whoops.
So this is a dry fit, but I think
I don't think I could dry fit.
What?
I don't think I could dry fit. It's a little too small.
Then
Those are for ants. It's a dry fit, as you say.
Yeah. So this is all the parts just sort of arranged together. I think this is about as sub-assembled as this can get. Which means the next step will be taking this home and giving it a base of rust primer.
Oh.
So then I can, because the hull I did with rust primer, which is a great thing because normally you'd go like white primer or gray primer. Vallejo sells a rust colored primer, so that's one less layer of paint to put on.
Nice.
So I'm gonna spray the whole thing with this rust primer and then just start working on layers of sort of like different rust and then put the original paint on top of that so it looks like it's worn away.
Cool. Okay.
Excuse me. And then we can add lots of distressing and moss and crap like that.
I love the hole in the radiator screen.
So funny story about that. I wanted to just sort of like bust it out.
Mm-hmm.
I hit it with a very teeny blowtorch and I held it on for a little too long.
Ah.
Yeah, I was like, I should have seen this coming. Should have used the clippers. So I'm gonna like snap those out carefully and artistically, so they look like they've rusted away or something, or like some punk has kicked them in.
It definitely has that look of some punk has taken a bat to the front of that thing. Yeah.
That punk now has leukemia.
Yeah.
And then I will have to decide how much in terms of hydraulic lines I want to add, because I went nuts on the post here.
Okay, let me get in close to that again.
So yeah, like I went really apeshit right here.
Hang on.
On this
On the right-hand side, yeah.
because there's all sorts of little lines coming off of it.
Oh, yeah.
And so all the these other hydraulic cylinders have similar lines, and there's like ones crisscrossing the bed. But luckily, because this is a distressed kit, any ones that I forget or just decide, fuck it, I can justify as being like, it broke.
Yeah, or was stolen, or yeah.
So, but yeah, this is getting getting back in shape, which is good. I think the biggest hump for this was the treads. Like I was hung up on that for months.
Yeah.
Just because it's so tedious. and finally getting those together was a big deal. So this is going to be real cool.
10. Okay.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thunderbirds go. That's Thunderbird 3? The submarine one.
Absolutely, yes, that was.
Ah, yes. Only the hottest 60s British TV references.
Cutting edge.
I think a lot of my references were like old as shit. Even like for when I learned about them. So I'm gonna be a real dinosaur. I'm also like way older than I look. So I think I look forward to many years ahead of me of confusing the hell out of people. Because like, there's certainly many people in the chat who actually know how old I am, but I wonder how many people would make a guess at how old I am. Just got one of them faces, I guess. Oh yeah, Thunderbirds traumatized me as a kid. I don't know why. It was just like really spooky.
I had to wait like a few years until I got older to watch it, because when I tried watching it when I was like, even when I was like 14 years old, I was still like, I don't know.
You know what it was? I think it was the episode with the atomic powered jet.
Oh yeah.
And what happened was like this airliner that has a nuclear engine takes off, and in midair they discover there's a bomb on board that'll blow up if it lands because it's in the landing gear, and so they have to try and work it out. And the reactor has a limited amount of shielding time to it, and so like they're doing donuts.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're running out of time here, man. We're gonna it's gonna radiate the crew and passengers and shit. And they're trying to get this thing together, and it's just like the puppet's like sweating, and it's just like it's like the shielding time has expired. It's like we have to land now, and they get these like cars and stuff. It's messed up. Oh boy, it's really something. And I was just like, ah. I think I've definitely gotten to the point where like nuclear history is predominantly hilarious to me, because it's so beyond like even comprehension that
Right.
it's just like it's like Nigel, this is Sellafield, the reactor's on fire. What are we gonna do? A couple of field channels just burst into flame. What's that? Put water on it? Well, that might explode. Oh well. Oh boy.
Okay.
Phew, dodged that bullet.
I feel like you could put a nuclear reactor on a plane.
Yeah, they've tried it.
Yeah.
Oh man, that perfect segue. Project Pluto was an initiative put forward by the United States Air Force, I think, to test the feasibility of a nuclear-powered ramjet engine.
Okay.
So I think it was two programs sort of paired with one another. The first one was the engine itself, which was like, I want to say like open cycle, unshielded nuclear engine, which I believe they built and tested on land, and it worked. The idea was that they were going to take this and install it in a cruise missile, and the way it would work is they would launch it using conventional solid fuel boosters until it cleared away from American soil. Then it would start its engine, which just spewed fallout.
Great.
It would fly over to the Soviet Union and whip around at about Mach 4 at like treetop level, tossing out hydrogen bombs until it ran out. And then it would just do circles.
And just drop fallout.
Yeah, it would just spray fallout everywhere.
That is the least well-behaved weapon of war.
I know, and it's like they can't shoot it down because it's going too fast.
Yeah.
And it'll never run out of fuel. We were saved that thing for two reasons. The first was, how do you test it?
Yes.
The second was ICBMs were cheaper and more reliable.
Makes sense. Oh, God.
I have very long-term plans of doing some sort of comedy content. I don't even know what form it'll look like.
Right.
It could be a comic book, it could be a animated series or something like that. But I just want to take all these observations about nuclear history that are completely fucking crazy
Yeah.
and, put it in a truthful and factual context, because you don't have to exaggerate any of it. Like, recently they were they're doing remediation operations in the Hanford site, which was the original plutonium manufacturing plant for the Manhattan Project and Project Crossroads that followed it. And they found the world's oldest plutonium. They found it.
Okay.
Because they were excavating and they found a banker's safe. And in the banker's safe was a jug.
Uh-oh.
And in the jug was some plutonium with a note on it that said, like, reconstitute later. And they sort of, like, worked out when it had happened. And they're like, oh, this is, like, the oldest sample of this that we have, because it was a human-created element.
Right.
They can trace back, like, when it
When it's
existed.
synthesized.
Right.
But yeah, it's like a moonshine jug with, like a hand-lettered thing. It was probably like they got some, like, leftovers. Somebody locked it up securely and fucking forgot about it.
Wow.
There was a channel, the periodic videos, I think, or like, it was like about the periodic table, and they get to plutonium, and the guy is talking about a colleague that he knew who worked in the British nuclear program at one point, and he was really exhausted at the end of a workday, and he accidentally spilled the entire UK supply of plutonium on a table. Because at the time it was really expensive. I mean, it's still very expensive and difficult to manufacture. And he like just spilled it and he was like, oh shit. What the fuck am I gonna do? So he sawed the table out
Ah, yeah.
and then burn it and reclaim the plutonium from the ashes.
Right.
But by the time he had accomplished that, he was too tired to do anything else except like fall asleep. And so in the morning, people were like, why is there a big hole in the table?
Right.
Like, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, don't even worry about it.
What an amazing idea, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, all right, I'll cut a huge hole in the table, then I'll burn that.
Yeah,
Get it back from the ashes. I can take care of most of this later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like because it's so valuable, it's worthwhile a lot of the time to try and reclaim it.
Right.
Although not always. Like the Rocky Flats site, where they had all these drums full of contaminated cutting oil, which had a bunch of plutonium tailings in it, I think. And they're like, we'll probably reclaim this later, but in the meantime, let's store that in 55-gallon drums outside. Just there.
You want to secure that?
No.
They're heavy. No
Yeah.
one's going to lift them.
Yeah. Oh, they're corroding. That sucks. It's like, well, how did we find that out? Well, we found this rabbit and we ran the scanner over it, and the scanner like cried. They also had tailings ponds, or like some sort of contaminated water. And they're like, what are we going to do with this? Like, how do we dispose of this? I know. This is real simple. It's like, it's in water. We'll add some concrete, solidify it into like solid waste, and then we can put the waste. Like, it's like, great, awesome idea. Do you want to standardize that recipe? No, I think you should eyeball it. And they did. So some of it turned solid. Much of it turned into a putty-like substance called pondcrete. So they're like, oh, this is gross. Well, we should probably store that somehow. How are we going to store that? Cardboard boxes. We're going to put it in cardboard boxes.
Okay.
And we're going to leave it in a fucking field.
What? You want to build like a concrete
No,
building you could put around it?
that's expensive.
Yeah, you're right.
It won't rain.
Yeah. It never rains.
Spoilers, it rained.
Jesus Christ.
Of course.
Oh, God. Yeah, the more you look into it, the crazier it gets. I mean, it's interesting because like a lot of the stuff that took place overseas, like in the Russian nuclear program, is like super secret, and only now we're getting little bits and bobs about information into that. Like I finally saw photos of the Russian atomic pile, which they cribbed the notes from the Chicago Pile 1, and a couple other things. Like, oof. Neat. So,
How's your project going?
it's good. Did you see? So, like, this is all getting pretty close to, I need to paint this now. And then start thinking about, like, there's little miscellaneous parts that will require attention, but this is in, like, pretty skookum shape.
That's pretty good.
I also need to start thinking about the base, because this is going to be a diorama. So I'm thinking a base about as big as like this thing here. This will probably be like angled like that, just because it's I like asymmetry, and then I'll put something here. I was thinking maybe like half pavement, half grass,
Good call.
and then just like some little bits and pieces, like, you know, packs of cigarettes and busted vodka bottles or something. You know, just personality.
Yeah, little hole.
Just a hole to shit in.
Yeah,
Or,
why not?
yeah. Oh, boy.
Like a camp stove, or maybe like a remnants of a campfire.
Mm.
Maybe not so much that. No, you
Yeah, I
wouldn't.
don't think you would hang out around here.
No, you wouldn't.
Unless you're that weird, like, I want to say she's from Austria.
The biker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's weird. I really hope she knows what she's doing. I don't remember her name, but she like goes to Pripyat a lot and like sticks her detector into stuff. And it's like, oh, look how hot this is. It's like, oh, this is very radioactive. I will eat it. Let me rub it into my skin. So yeah, this diorama is meant to be contemporary, like what it would look like today. So it's going to be like, here's the, sort of like that.
1 second.
That's the kind of, that's the finish we're looking for.
Huh.
So it's not going to be up on this thing, but it'll be like that.
Chernobyl adventure. Take the whole family.
Don't. There was an uptick in tourism because of the show.
Really?
Yeah, which I have profoundly mixed feelings about.
I'm weirdly not surprised.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be as bothered if there wasn't so much vandalism and like people memeing and shit. But, well, it's probably one of those things where it's like you get an uptick in people who understand and give a shit about it, and also like Insta people, you know, just being like,
Yeah.
you know, like, I mean, there's Insta people who like snap, you know, cheeky selfies at like Auschwitz, Birkenau.
Yeah.
There's like walking on the railroad.
Yeah.
It's like,
No.
that's not appropriate. Influencers ruining everything. Although that post, it said like, you know, these influencers were fucking stuff up. That was fake.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like 3 of those photos were not contemporary, which bugs me more. It's just like, God damn it. But yeah, they have guided tours. If I did ever end up going, I would definitely want to get a Ukrainian one, because I've heard those ones are a lot more solemn and kind of like historical.
Right.
Whereas, like, I've only heard this anecdotally. The Russians were just like, "Welcome to danger zone. Take photo. Do not get killed by mutant."
Holy shit.
I mean, I'm grossly exaggerating,
Yeah.
but
But huh.
let's see. What else can I do on this wall?
I sure do have interesting projects sometimes.
Yeah.
Watch as Ian attempts to properly.
I just keep expecting fire to start shooting out of there.
No.
No.
Is the issue here is it's just not being seen?
Yeah, sometimes sometimes the flashing is a fiddly process. Like specifically getting it into flash mode, I remember. So you don't want to short anything,
No.
but you also want to make sure that it's in programming mode. But there's no indications on the device, so yay.
This is our waiting for shit to work
Yep.
music, I guess.
Connecting to the ESP. Boo!
Arclight mentions wanting to someday visit CFS Alert.
What's CFS alert?
Alert, the Canadian Forces outpost.
Oh yeah, up north.
Yeah, up
On
way
the DO
north.
line.
Yeah, and it kind of like I'd love to see it too.
I don't actually know what that is.
It's the northernmost established base in Canada.
Hmm.
Are you familiar with the DO line?
People don't live up there generally.
Mhm.
Like the Inuit, I don't even think go up that high. They're just kind of like, nah, you have it. Why would we want to be at that far north? It is very cold.
Only the white men looking to prove something go up there. That's
Yes.
fucking stupid.
Yeah. It's established, I think, as a base so that they can. That's because it's a radio installation, isn't
Yes.
it?
I think I keep saying
Yeah,
which one it's
DO
part of. Yeah.
It's the DO line. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then I don't know of it.
It was the early warning system.
For Canada.
Well, no, for the U.S.
Right.
And it was meant to say, okay, oh, no alert was to intercept Russian communications. My apologies. That was way farther north than the DO line. Thank
Okay,
you.
good. That's what I thought because I
Yeah.
was like, the DO line was.
Because I was gonna say, like, as far as Canadian sites, I want to see the Defen bunker.
Oh yeah.
Because yeah, like specifically Canadian history is kind of just attached to the states a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
We get like secondhand sort of stuff.
I have no idea what the Defen bunker is,
Excuse
though.
me. Sorry?
What is the Defen bunker?
The Defen bunker is like a Cold War shelter.
Built by Diefenbaker.
Where? Ottawa?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it was part of his many follies during that time.
Did he just build a giant bunker to be like, I'll be in here and so will a bunch of other people?
And so will the entire government.
It's like nobody's gonna
Ah.
like. It's like who's gonna nuke Canada and why?
I loved growing up in the 80s. There was always because the fear of the Ruskies, right?
The Red Dawn.
And the idea that it's like, okay, so, hey, everyone, did you know that when the Russians drop the bombs, the first place is going to be Washington, D.C., right? Yeah. Okay. So when they drop the second round of bombs, they're going to bomb, and I forget where it was. And you know where they're going to drop the third ones?
Where?
In the Canadian Forces base right outside your house.
Yeah.
That was always the shit. It was always like the third target's gonna be CFB Cold Lake or CFB Suffield, which is outside Medicine Hat, or I'm pretty sure Ian CFB Edmonton.
Well, you see, Beach,
Yes.
we were on first strike list
Yes.
because it wasn't necessarily CFB Edmonton that was the big target. It was Refinery Row.
Ah.
Knock out the infrastructure.
So there's this, but it was always the thing. that was like Canadian school children had this thing of they're gonna bomb CFB Suffield. I'm like, really? Why? Why would they bomb Suffield third?
Beach. Did you know my grandfather
Yes.
flew with nuclear weapons?
Oh, cool.
They were on loan from the States.
Just sign them out.
The Genie air-to-air guided missile was intended to counteract Russian bombers. So, like, if a squadron of Russian bombers were inbound,
Right.
a fighter jet with my grandpa in it, and these rented nukes would be like, and take out all of them.
Just set one off in the vicinity.
He was a starfighter pilot, if I'm not mistaken, right? You know, okay, interesting fact. Do you know where all the starfighters currently reside? They were recently all bought up by a company out of, I believe, Nevada or California. One of the investors is Robert X. Cringely, who wrote the Triumph of the Nerds for NBC or for PBS. And they're using them because they make for great launch vehicles for microsatellites. Because they're one of the only planes available to civilians that can accelerate past the speed of sound at a 45-degree angle.
I need to get a lozenge before I die.
Go right ahead.
All right, I will mute you.
I'm going to keep trying this a few more times, and I think we might want to just skip to sub-step. God, I hate it when these episodes don't go the way I'm planning to. You know what? I'm going to try something saucy here. I'm going to attempt to flash one of these non-flash ones with my over-the-air system. Tuya Convert might work for me. So let's connect this up to some power and then not touch it. Which is in is this one, right? Right. Silent Optimus speakers have not been remodeled yet. That will be for a future episode when we actually sit down to do a bunch of actual work on it. Right. Big neutral energy, small load. That's the way to remember it. But I'm excited to get back into those speakers too. I've been showing them off to people in the office as things go on, and people seem to remain impressed. All right, let's see if this one works. Let's see if we can get this one working with nothing but Wi-Fi's. This is no longer a touch machine. No touch. Exposed wires. Very danger. Stay? Good. Okay, let's launch VirtualBox because that's where I keep my virtual over-the-air flashers. Va-va-va-va. When was the last time someone said va-va-voom?
Maybe the 80s?
Yeah.
Maybe in a 90s movie? Maybe. Oh, did you hear that GameStop is just going to be opening up teen zones?
What does that even mean?
Well, think of what the teen zone was like at your local library or at your at like a disused mall. The mall that people stopped shopping at.
Oh yeah, it was where I went to get my my Robotech novels.
Yeah. So they're testing 3 stores in Oklahoma because they're like, well, we're not doing so great. So how about this? Let's just get rid of all the merchandise. Then we'll put in some tables. On those tables, we'll put tabletop games, and we'll put network PCs, and maybe some retro game stations and stuff. And you'll just come in, and you sign up for membership, and you just sit down and play. Free of charge.
Okay.
That's the business model they're testing.
Will they sell drinks?
I don't know. It's not clear. Like, I was like, are you gonna just start vending Jolt Cola? Like, you got a little bar fridge in the back. You're gonna just 50 cents a can. Like, what is this going to look like? It sounds kind of amazing because to me, I remember, like I was saying on Checkpoint earlier today, that I remember being a little kid going to Tramps Comics and Books and playing on the Nintendos for like $2 an hour, and I was kind of like, if this is gonna be the new normal for GameStops, to be like the place where teens go to hang out at the mall to play video games and stuff. Could this work? I don't know. I don't know how you make money. Because, again, I don't see a way that you make a lot of money. Arcades closed down in malls because they weren't making money. And that's like a quarter at a time, right? It's really weird. We'll see what happens.
Start Flash.
No, the membership does not have a cost for anyone asking. I looked in the article and it was like, yeah, you sign up for like a Power Play membership, which is free. And I'm like, wait, and the whole thing's free of charge? That can't be how it works. Like, you have to pay money somewhere, I'm sure. Who knows? I don't see it being like a widespread thing just yet. But if anyone lives in Oklahoma and you know where these things are, go get some footage and put it in the Discord. Like, let people know what goes on in these places.
I ran my throat dry as a box of sand. So I'm going to limit that.
No more talking? Gotcha. I need to find me some of those glyph sticks. 'Cause those seem super useful. Sanding sticks for sanding small things. Okay, so I need to connect something to vTrust Flash. So I need to find vTrust Flash. There it is. Connect. Okay, connecting. This is fun because this is why I've got a second Wi-Fi card hooked up to this laptop right now.
Ah, yes.
Is for the flashing of the different devices.
Oh, I see. So one of your network adapters is for the network. One of them is for specifically for these other things.
Exactly.
That's a good idea.
In fact, I should probably disconnect that so that we connect properly. Okay, we're connected to vTrust Flash. Press Enter to continue.
Oh, holy crap! It now knows what your proper IP address is. You could I can't see you. It's the source is on screen right now.
Okay.
So if you can't see it, it's because nothing's being sent. But you could start sending source if you wanted to. I know you're busy though.
I shouldn't be able to because I'm not connected.
Oh, it knows where you are. You're at 65.
Like I said, I'm not actually connected
Oh,
to
wow.
anything.
Okay. That might be left over from a while ago. Real weird.
No, the spyware is stubborn.
Ah. This appears to not be working. Well, curses. Resending smart config packets. Smart config complete. Auto retry. Oh, Tuya convert. Why did I think you would work for me? Let's see. Read me.
These help? You have some already?
Oh yeah, thanks.
Good. I didn't know if you saw them or not.
Oh, I'm sucking a fat one.
All right. Tasmota cannot connect to the internet. Device did not appear with the intermediate firmware. Check the log file in the script folder. Do you want to try flashing another? No! Do not try again. Alright, let's see what happens if we connect this. Tasmota OTA. Let's try it via here. Tasmota OTA. Aha! Sonota. Let's see if this will do it for us. Oh, okay. So these new Sonoffs, these new version 2s don't go over the air, unfortunately, it looks like.
Oh, interesting.
So that could make things more difficult.
So they have to be done by wire.
By wire. Let's unplug that before we possibly electrocute anyone. We'll put this one over here. So yeah, I guess we need to keep trying with the serial system. So why is it not liking that? Let's try a different one, just to see if that's... If we just got a fully bad batch.
The wires are okay though? Like
Wires should be fine. And that's in there good and solid, good and solid, good and solid all the way across. So let's put gray to ground. Red to transmit. Blue to receive. White to there. You know what? I might actually just even try turning those around, because if that is the case, then that would be really annoying. Plug it in. Close up shops. And re-engage the Tasmotizer. Flash from release. Download the binary, connecting to the ESP. Connecting to the ESP. Connecting to the ESP. Still connecting to the ESP. Failed to connect. Okay. You know what? Because it should still be booted, let's just try flipping these RX and TX on the fly. There we go. TX is blue, RX is red. That's backwards from what it's supposed to be, but let's see if that does the ish, if that fixes her. Tasmotize. Okay. So I can see that the device is actually trying to send information because you get the little flashy, the blinking light.
All right.
So it leads me to believe these are not booting up in the correct mode then. Now why would that be? Well, you know what? Let's try the let's go on ahead and try the command line version, because why not? We're all here. We don't have anything else anywhere else to be, do we? All right, back in connection. Let's go off back to the Tasmota home. Hardware prep is prepped. Prerequisites, all good. Soldered, pin-headered. Seems fine. Tasmota Pi Flasher. Node MCU Pi Flasher. ESP tool executable. Let's get those all. Okay, this actually has a console, so that seems already a upgrade. How do download? Build it yourself? No. Ugh. Install Python. Well, that's not going to happen on air. You monsters. ESP tool.
So, Ian.
Yes.
We're coming up on 7:30.
Yep.
And that's traditionally an early end for Tinker Tailor.
That's it.
But if you are feeling like you're running into a hard wall,
That's what I'm thinking is happening here, which is why I'm thinking that might be time for us.
yeah.
We're going to try one more thing here.
All right.
Which is we're going to try using the Mac OS. If I have to use Python, I might as well use something that already has Python.
No, that's a good point. Fair.
Because I do not want to go through the effort of trying to install Python on Windows 10. Hey.
So these are just temporarily pinned in place. I'm going to glue them at some point, and then I'll probably use very carefully a cutoff wheel on my Dremel at home to sand these pins down.
Trim them.
But those are all actually like wired through.
Now, is there reason not to use snips there? Because I feel like a wheel would probably introduce a lot of vibration, which could knock it.
If it's moving fast enough, it won't.
Okay.
Excuse me. I'll probably do snips to start, but a snip is going to come off as like a little
Yeah.
angle. So they will need cleaning up.
Because you definitely want
Maybe just like a hand file would be fine.
you definitely don't want to use your God hand on those.
No, that's
Yeah.
how you make God cry.
God the hand? Yeah.
Okay, hear me out.
Yes.
Family moves for dad's new job. I'm going to list some things here, okay?
Okay.
Family moves for dad's new job. You go to a new school where you don't understand how anything works. You meet a beautiful girl. You do some drugs that the girl gives you. The girl cheers you on as you take your driver test. Okay?
Okay.
I know this tweet.
Dune is an 80s teen movie.
Yep. God, I love that one.
Blah, 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 blah. Wait, no,
That's Back to the Future,
good enough.
which I think is actually a more appropriate song for our good friend the Dune Boys.
I'd love to hear it rescored as like an 80s teen movie now with like frickin' The Power of Love and like all like Don't You Forget About Me, like all that kind of stuff just in there.
Power of spice is a curious thing. Makes space fold and your face look like a thing.
That is what it does.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Tasmota Pie Flasher.
The juice of Sappho is made out of spice, right?
Yeah.
Not like refined lesbians.
I think so.
I'm just saying.
The kind that hold their pinky up when they're...
When they're what, Ian?
Yeah, Ian. What the fuck, Ian?
I'm not saying anything, am I? ESP tool executable.
How many layers of finger are you on? Like 2 or 3, my dude. You're like a baby.
Watch this.
Fist.
No, it's a high energy liquid extracted from the barrier roots of a plant from Ecaz.
Oh,
Good to know.
Yeah.
ECAS.
It's also where Samuta is from. The other drug, I guess, that's big from Ecaz. And the Elaka drug. Holy crap, they just make a whole bunch of drugs from this place.
spice is an Arrakis thing, though.
It certainly is. It is only on Arrakis. They have tried to raise sandworms in other places, and they could not do it.
Oh, right, that's where it comes from, right?
Yeah, they were like, when they found this... So I was in the Dune thread that I'm in. There is a discussion about, okay, so how the hell does this work again? Like, how's the whole ecology of Dune work? And everyone's answer is essentially, we're just going to hand wave this shit, because if you try to get into a conversation, it doesn't seem like it should. Because
Yeah, that's the thing that...
And people say that, well, sandworms are an ecosystem unto themselves. And so it's like, so how's the spice work and how's this whole thing work? It's like, well, if you think of spice like a puffball explosion, like that's what makes spice blow up, but it's essentially because a worm dies because it gets like drowned in water or whatever, and then that's what it causes the spice to like pop, something like that. But then there's sand plankton, but sand plankton turn into sand trout. And when they turn to sand trout, that's when they can actually like keep water within their body. But they end up like forming together, and when you have enough sand trout that have held enough water in their body for a long enough time, then they can become a sandworm. And it's like, just stop thinking about all of this. It's fine.
We need way more media literacy. Or actually, it's not just media literacy, like process literacy. Because I think, okay, so I'm not allergic to fun.
No.
I'm not. However, there are these conversations that go on online that really seem to misunderstand how fiction works. You know what I mean? You know, as people earnestly trying to, it's like, but how does the thing work in the universe? And it's like, they made it up.
Yep.
And then that IP got passed to somebody else who made up a different thing based on the specs from the client. And those things don't jibe. They do not jibe because they're done by different people.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
It's fun for the fan community to try to find the bridge between these things.
But it doesn't exist.
Yeah, and if it doesn't exist and you can't figure out a way to do it, then it's just better to just
Headcanon.
Yeah, hand wave that shit away and be like, it's okay that we don't know how this works.
Headcanon. Like, God, I saw some video that was like, what was it? these YouTube recommendations where it's like all 37 timelines of some fucking movie explained. It's like, stop it. It's like, oh, weird. This video is 10 minutes and 1 second.
Yeah.
I'm being punished.
There's a the timeline leading through Dune is interesting too, though, because when humanity starts to leave Earth for the first time and starts to settle in other places, there's a point by which it's like, hey, we're like everyone's kind of moving out to different places, and we have control. We know how to control planetoids now, you know, like, and then a few years later, Ceres, the moon Ceres, is adopted as the new seat of government because a planetoid just accidentally hit Earth.
Oops.
Oops, I guess we're moving the imperial seat to Ceres. I wonder how that happened.
I may hit you up for some of those lozenges.
Well, by all means.
Plus,
Matt has them handy.
thank you.
They're Honey Ginger.
Hmm.
Who I believe was also a Bond girl.
Don't waste a precious minute.
Oh, yeah. You've never seen these on hauls?
Nope,
No,
this is news to me.
This has been a thing for a few years now.
Don't give up on you. Thanks, Halls. Sometimes we just need to feel that. All right. I hate to give up.
You put it on hold. You're not giving up, you're putting it on hold.
Never
Yeah.
give up.
Oh man, do you want to harvest Asiatic clams?
Yes? Yes, that seems like it's a lot easier to do. And by the last time, I mean, I'm just going to keep trying again and again. Hey, you know what? We have a lot of fun here on Tinker Tailor Soldier Fry, but it's a Let's Try program, and sometimes things don't exactly go as they are planned, like this episode for me. For you, that seems like you've actually succeeded quite a bit in what you were able to put together. Yeah, nice dab. Dab on it. But thanks everyone for coming by and watching us try things out. We'll eventually get there, and once I get these working, maybe I'll come in and do more of that home automation and actually show you the automation part of it, because it's actually really cool. But yeah, we want to thank all of you for watching. Be you people who have given us support financially, people who've given us support by just hanging around in the chat there, chatting away, or people who've just given us support by simply watching and being a friend. But specifically, we want to thank right now those of you who contribute to our work here at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. We super appreciate it because it allows us to send people away, like what they are done right now. We sent Graham and Cam and Ben and Corey away. We sent them specifically to Boston. They're in Boston now. There's a PAX there. You can go check it out if you're there or not. We also want to... who else do we want to thank?
I think that kind of is the thing. Like, we can talk about what comes up next.
Yeah, I think that's the next thing.
Yeah.
Paige, what is happening next here on the network?
Oh, look at that. Friday Night Paper Fight is tomorrow, starting at 5 p.m.
Would you look at that?
And we're playing Unsanctioned, which is the new silver-bordered game. I hate to call it a set, because it's actually a reissue of a lot of cards and some new cards. And it's a gaming experience provided for you by the good people at Wizards of the Coast. So that's cool.
I mean, sold to you.
That's correct. Yes, let's be fair. You are buying a product.
Brought to you.
Brought to you by Wizards of the Coast. You can purchase this product and see it be played, but you can also just tune into FNPF and watch us play it tomorrow night. Adam returns with a game house probably 11 a.m. because he finished Persona.
Fine. What?
He finished it on Tuesday.
Hot damn.
Sure, I'll say Tuesday. So technically he doesn't have to do this one, but we held this one just in case he wanted to have like a victory lap. So we'll see. All good wrestlers go out on their back, so we'll see what he ends up doing. That's the idea. Rhythm Cafe on Sunday.
Yes.
Ian, you're playing more of Octavo's Ode.
Yeah, we got to the Dark World. It turns out there's a little bit more for us to do, so we're going to finish that, and then we're probably going to play Lo-Fi Ping Pong, to be honest.
That's cool. If you've liked Cadence of Hyrule so far, you can watch them. Sounds like finish Cadence of Hyrule's DLC. Dice Friends then, of course, returns on Monday. Adam will be here. It's not like Adam stopped streaming altogether. He just doesn't have the game house.
But we will not be doing a fairy mound.
Oh,
Oh, will we? No, that's
wait,
right. That's right.
Because it's still PAX East.
Yes,
technically,
that's
because
right.
people are still traveling.
We had a week off from
Ian?
Yes.
What to you is a fairy mound?
Not for discussion on a family program.
Okay, that's what I was worried.
How much did we curse? They say it only opens every 1,000 years, Alex.
I'm so fucking mad.
Minecraft comes at you 9 o'clock. James Inu and Surge are playing the Surgecraft 2 mod pack on Tuesday, 10 a.m. Tuesday at 1:30 is more Disco Elysium on Talking Simulator. And then Let's Nope shows up with more Silent Hill. Ben and Adam are sitting down to play more Silent Hill on Let's Nope. Tuesday, Watch and Play. We don't know what will be on there, but it will be on Wednesday at 2 p.m. And AFK is in the evening. It is March, and we are playing Burgle Bros.
Oh.
So I'm curious to see what that even is, but it sounds like a lot of fun. I'm just going to hide that right there. That's cool. We've done enough. Do you want to thank subs now, Ian?
I do. Yeah, I made something flash, and I don't think that's actually doing what I want it to do. So I want to thank subs. I want to thank specifically all you friends who have subscribed here at the Loading Ready Run Video Entertainment Network on Tinker Tailor Soldier Fry, and at the end, those of you who've donated bits, starting with
Please work.
RR Tycoon 2 for 39 months. Thank you for your continued support.
That's not the right user. I had a different name listed.
I'm sorry, RR Tycoon 2. I'm going to have to revoke my thanks, but you're still...
I literally don't know why
Oh,
they showed
that's
up. Hang on a second. Like, I don't know if they're even in the list. Oh, okay. No, I see why. Discordian Talkin dropped some bits. So they come first.
Okay.
But they dropped bits. They didn't have a sub.
So they're not real.
So they're not real yet. They'll be real in the bit listing. So this is correct. So keep reading.
Cool. Oh wait, RR Tycoon 2, I'm reinstating your thanks. Okay, we live here now. Gets 67-month. Thank you. And there it is. Thank you. Crazy Grinder 22 here for the 28th month. Keep on grinding. Road Hog 123 for 21 months. Keep on hogging. BTC 1,220 for 6 months. Keep making bitcoins.
Yeah.
Baby G 30, your brand new subscriber and your 30-year-old baby. That's amazing. Somp Smash has been around for 31 months. Keep on somping. Corno Jack CJ subscribing for 19 months. Keep on naxing. 42 Milliways subscribing for 24 months in a row. Keep on milling. Forge Bold here for 28 months of subs. Keep on forging. Demigod Chaos, thank you for your 34 months. One day you'll be a real god. Soul 1,355 for 19 months. Thank you for your subscription. Keep on soulin'. Octavia Scratch has been a subscriber for 10 months. Keep on scratching. Flat Luigi has been a subscriber for 13 months. Thank you for your subscriptions. Keep on playing a second fiddle to Mario. The one called Stu subscribed for 59 months. Thank you for that. Keep on winning. Tales from the Mana Crypt. Wait. Yep. Subscribed for 12 months. That's a full year in real time. Keep on crypting. Mantafold has been a subscriber for 22 months. Thank you for your subscription. Keep on folding. And thank you to the Herc, for 4 months of subscriptions. Keep on jerking.
Yes!
Wooly Nelson has been here for 30 months. That's their resub for that. Keep on, Nelson. And thank you for those 569 bits from Discord and Token, Flat Luigi, E Block, Xantos69, and Contingent Cat. Keep on the bits, the bits, the bits. That's the end of our show. And that's the end of a broadcast day here at the Loading Ready Run Video Entertainment Network. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow morning once again with whatever it was the Beachhead was showing up in the morning.
There's nothing tomorrow morning.
It'll be morning somewhere.
Yep.
Ever forward.